Controversy's good, but apparently, I mean,
that
look at
overplayed?
that 340. I guess
all
not.
of these are pretty.
Yeah, but yeah, that one's dope.
January
Honestly,
28th.
Dude, I love January
honestly,
28th.
the intro itself.
It's really good. Yeah. I
Do you
mean,
wanna-
there's a
do
couple
you
really
wanna
good
be
ones on here. Like
happy?
like January 28th and like 03, Adolescence, bro. Those two are so tough.
I don't think I have those 3 Adolescents in my playlist. I don't think I
You
like
gotta
that.
add that shit. I love that.
Like,
song,
no, because
bro.
I listened to the album list and I added all the ones I fucked with.
Yeah, when did you first listen to this?
It's been a while. Probably.
Middle school, right?
Yeah, damn, probably
It's
like
been so long.
5 years. Yeah, beginning of high school, end of middle school.
I woke up this morning, I was thinking the song Wet Dreams was in my head. I'm like, yo, it's been like so long since I heard this album. And I just remember that song, so I'm told Taylor, like, oh, just listen to it today. And then, we're rolling with it.
No, my girl loved that song because like she was in my math class. So you feel me? So it's like
amazing, bro.
that's how it started senior year. Like
Oh, really?
she said I sat next to her in math class. And then
Did the story play out the same way it played out for him, or what?
no, I was not writing no notes and stuff like that. No, that's crazy.
That's funny. Yeah, we'll get Badass queued up. But yeah, man, Murilo, it's been great getting to know you. The last couple of months here in Michigan, I really respect you as a very driven person. Like every time I'm talking to you, you're talking about the app you're working on, the conference you're going to, the weight you be putting up. So it's been fun hanging out with you, getting to know you, man, and it's been a pleasure, man.
Of course. I mean, I'm glad to be like in the podcast and everything like that. I mean, I knew Michigan students were like up to stuff and everything like that. Like we're all working hard and stuff like that. But like, I haven't heard of anybody working as hard as you, especially like in the podcast system and like uploading every week. You have a schedule planned out. You're networking with people, trying to get more people and people that you normally don't get in podcasts. Because students aren't normally on podcasts. So it's kind of like a different perspective compared to those of like, people that are already rich giving financial advice and stuff like that. You're getting something from people that are on the come up still, rather than people that are already at the top. You feel me?
No, I appreciate that, man. Would you mind like tucking your chair in just a little bit, just to go close? Yeah, perfect.
Like this?
Yeah, that's good. No, I appreciate that, man. And it's just been fun to work on. It's just something I wanted to do, and I figured like why wait till I'm like in a better position? Like why not start today and like take it with me as we get up to the top, I guess. But
yeah,
I just feel like everyone got a story to tell.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm at Michigan. Like all these people are really driven people who will one day go on to do great things, whatever that might be. It could be in the common realms of success like money and etc. But it could also be other types of success. Go on, build great families and do great things in the world. So I feel like it'd be valuable to see like their thought process like over time. Like what were they like in college? I feel like there's no collection of just like college friends like talking about life online, just like seeing what their world is like. And it's been great just talking to people because you learn so much about their world. Like for 2 hours I gotta just enter someone's world and see what goes on through their mind every day. And like I know them on a surface level. We talk over meals and like at the gym, but I feel like you definitely see a whole different version of someone here, and that's what's been really beautiful to me about working on this matter.
I mean, I feel like that's a concept that I always like struggle with, because like sometimes like I'll be on the bus, or I'll like if I travel to like a big city and stuff like that, like I'll look around and for a second I'll stop and think like wow, like we all got like our own individual lives, our own individual problems. Like right now I'm stressed about like, when I go back I have an exam at this day, blah blah blah. The person next to me is worried about some completely different thing. The person next to them is worried about some completely different thing, and none of us like have any idea about any of each other's like struggles or life at all. And yeah, we're all like kind of like in the same boat of life essentially, where we're all trying to just succeed and become financially responsible, financially free, begin a family, all those things. So it's just like, to me, like I'll look at like apartment buildings and I'm like, wow, there's probably like tens to hundreds of thousands in that building. Each one of them has a different life. Each apartment has like a different story, a different decoration. And to me, that's something that's just like, I don't know, it's like I feel like it's so hard to like wrap my head around. Like even in the dorms itself, it's like there's so many people in these dorms. I haven't even met like half of them because there's just so many, and each of them has like unique decoration, unique life, unique classes, unique major, unique goals, and it's just like ridiculous to like really think about. Like
it hurts your head a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's no way. Like even the gym, when the gym is packed, it's like, wow, like everybody here is for a different reason, Exactly. Like you're out there trying to power lift. I'm there mostly to like improve my physique and finally hit 225. But then, you know, there's other people there that are there like, you know, oh, I want to get my fitness back up to how I was in high school, or oh, I want to slim down a bit now that I have access to a gym like this. You know, so it's just ridiculous to see how like there's so many different people just in the world in general. Because like right now I'm talking about it and I'm talking about like tens of thousands and 100,000s. There's 7 billion people in the world.
I know, right?
Like think about like what I've just said, but upscale that like by like 50, 100. That's ridiculous. And I gotta
brains like they can't conceptualize it, man.
Yeah, exactly. I really can't it hurts my head just thinking about it right now. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just how it is. But it's something truly like to me it makes me think about like the fact that like there really is no limit. You know, there's 7 billion people of us. We're all like taking different paths to try to get to maybe a similar destination, maybe not a similar destination. But there's probably hundreds of thousands of other people trying to get to a place similar to where you want to get, right? But there's no one right way to do it. You know, you just kind of like, you got to do by trying. You know, you just got to go at it and hope that you end up where you want to end up. And if you don't end up where you end up, then you're still going to end up at the place where you should be. You know, like if you're really trying hard to become, like really want to become a soccer player when I was younger, you know, and I tried really hard for that, really hard. But then I saw myself succeeding in academics just as much, if not more, than soccer, you know, and I had to make a decision, like, do I, you know, go to a public school that has a great soccer team and try to go there and try to go D1 or whatever, or do I settle down? At the time, I was at the #1 high school in Miami.
Wow.
So I was like, do I settle?
From Florida?
Yeah, from Florida.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, so do I settle down and stay here and focus on my academics?
You said #1 school in soccer or in?
No, in academics.
Okay.
Academics, yeah. So if you search up best high schools in Florida, I don't know if we lost the ranking right now, but we're
it's
like
right up there.
Yeah, we're like top. We should still be top 3 at least. Yeah,
That's
right
sick.
there. No
What was
way.
it? Pineview?
No way. Wait, scroll down. There it is, #4.
Okay.
Upper
Top 5 is
Conservatory.
pretty good too.
Yeah.
Archimedean Upper Conservatory.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
like a religious school or like a private
No,
school?
they're a charter school and they were
Charter,
founded by
okay.
Greeks. So
Greeks,
essentially,
that's cool.
yeah, 51 national ranking.
It's pretty good, man.
Yeah, #1 in Miami-Dade. Yeah, exactly.
Florida's big too.
Yeah,
It's not like South Dakota or
It's-
something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like some huge competition. But yeah, 51 in national rankings, you know.
Wow.
But we were founded by like some Greek guys that immigrated, and
That's sick.
they wanted to make the school focused on math and science, right? But then
So
since
STEM
they were
focused,
also Greek and the philosophers, you know, wrote everything in Greek originally, and mathematicians were Greek, like Aristotle, Socrates, all of them. They made us, the requirement was to learn Greek, you know? Because in high school, you have like a language requirement. They have to take a language class every year of high school.
Every single year.
Yeah, something along those lines. So for us, they made us all learn Greek every year.
Wait, so you could choose or you had to take Greek?
You had to take Greek. There was no
Okay.
choice.
So
you
your
know?
school, okay.
Yeah. And
That's
the
cool.
school was from kindergarten to 12th grade.
So you were there the whole time?
No, but I joined in
Okay.
9th grade.
Okay.
Right? So the kids in my class already knew Greek pretty well because they've been learning it for years. You know, so like
It's a tough language, no?
Exactly. It's so difficult. And
Taylor, you're screen recording, right? I forgot to ask you. Okay, cool. Sorry.
and then I was there and I was just like I remember my first Greek class, everybody like they walked in and they're like, Kalimera, which means like good morning. And I like looked around, I'm like, what did they just say? I'm like, there's no way I'm here right now. And then because they believe in the philosophy of Greek and then of like the Greek language and like using it to learn, they also made us take a Greek math class on top of that. So I had 2 math classes each year.
So how's Greek math different than American math?
It's the same, except the professor talks in Greek. The exams are written in Greek.
Are you serious?
You have to write in
So
Greek.
you have to be that fluent in Greek.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
So you probably
So-
struggle, man.
Yeah, I struggled a lot. I remember sitting in class and I took, for example, trigonometry. I never learned it in English. I only learned it in Greek. You know, like I knew sine, cosine because other people said it.
What do they call it?
But to me, it's like imitonon, sinemitonon, and stuff like that. Because imitonon is sine, sinemitonon is cosine,
Wow.
and stuff like that. And I remember and if you had a question, you had to ask it in Greek too. Like I'd raise my hand and I'd start my question, and then I wouldn't know like the next words, then I'd say it in English, and then he's like, "Then catalaveno," which means I don't understand. And I'm like, "Are you kidding me, man?"
Let me fucking
So
with
I was
you.
like, "Yo, there's
I mean,
no
man,
way."
like, picking that shit up that fast. Like I took French, right? I took French throughout high school, like a little bit. Then I'm sorry, throughout middle school a little bit. Then high school, I started taking it every single year.
Yeah.
And by the end of the year, I was like pretty good at French, but not at the level where I can be taking French math or something like that. So you picked it. You started in ninth, man, and you picked that shit up fast.
Yeah, exactly. I had to. Like, I had no other choice. You know, it was part of my grade, and at the time, I was getting something I like to live by is like aim for the moon, because if you miss, you'll land among the stars, right? Yeah. So like for me in high school, I was aiming for MIT. It's the #1 school. You know, was I gonna reach there? Hopefully yes, but like realistically probably not. Like statistically and everything like that. So I was like, I'm gonna keep my sights at MIT, because you know if I grind for MIT and study as hard as I can trying to land MIT, I may not get to MIT, but I might land at a school just as great, like University of Michigan, top 8 engineering school in the country, you know? And like at the same time, like I made it into Johns Hopkins too because of the mentality, you know? But it's just Johns Hopkins was more medicine, their computer science and engineering wasn't as targeted to where I wanted to do.
Michigan's is so good, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know, like those East classes, like when I started taking like other classes here, like math classes and stuff, I realized how fucking good the East program here is. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like being at such a great school like this, like it's the perfect place to do exactly what you're doing. It's just like network, you know? Yeah. Like something that I've done a lot is every time I'm like in an intellectual space where like I know there's people older than me, I'm just like whatever, and then I just start talking to them, you know? Like I joined at Festival, actually the last semester's little club fair thing. I was introduced to the National Society of Black Engineers, right? And I was like, I wanted to join clubs, yada yada. So I was like, all right, let me join this, see what it's about. You know, they're actually a very great club. They have a lot of activities for like.
That's what we went for a conference for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How was that, man?
It was depressing to say the least. You feel me?
Why?
Because like, so over spring break we had the annual conference for that club, right? So chapters of that club from every university was there, you know. So it's like my friend from MIT, I met up with him there because he's in the club, but there, and it was huge. And then they had a 2-day career fair at the same time, and everything. But it's just like, you know, going around, walking around. I had my suit and everything like that. I had my resumes in hand. I was ready for that. But none of the companies there were really looking for or really had freshman opportunities. You feel me? They were looking for more like full-time positions or like senior/junior internship opportunity, you know. But I mean, at the same time, like I kind of was just there to get the experience out of the way, so that like if I go to a career fair and I really like need an internship, I'm not like as nervous as I would be if it was my first time. You know, it's not like I'm a junior and I'm like, oh, I really need an internship for the summer. I really gotta impress these guys. I'm scared of what I'm gonna say, how to interact with them, you know, because like I've already kind of interacted with them, you know. So I mean, was it different than a lot of people's spring breaks? Yes, it was, because, you know, Wednesday I was there at 8 in the morning trying to get into like a Python certification program that they had. But then when I got there at 8 in the morning, they were like, oh, you have to sign up for this prior, and we can't handle money. You can't sign up now. So then I was just there at 8 in the morning, just chilling, and the thing started at 11. But then since I was there so early, I literally started talking to the security guard, and the security guard was like talking to me about like, hey, like, this is my second year doing this. Like, this is a great opportunity. Just talk to as many people as you can. Like, there's a bunch of great people here. Everybody here is like equally smart. Everybody here is pursuing success. You know, if they weren't, they wouldn't be here. You know, so he was just like, honestly, just talk to everybody, network with everybody, and just like have a blast. Like, even if you don't end up with like an internship or something like that. I mean, that's advice. That's great advice, but it's not an advice you'd expect to get from a security guard, which comes back to the point of saying like literally talk to anyone.
They all got stories, man.
Yeah, everybody's got stories. Everybody's got experiences, and everybody has learned from their experiences. So if other people have learned from experiences that may be similar to yours, why are you gonna go through those same experiences and fail where they failed, where they can supply you with the answers they didn't have at the time?
Wow,
you know,
100%.
So, like for example, through the club, I got a mentor. Her name is Sierra Cade. She's the guy. I got really lucky with her and really fortunate with her. She's like LinkedIn famous. She's won a bunch of hackathons. She networks a lot, travels for that stuff. She recently went to Columbia for a speaking event where she spoke at Columbia, and like she was the judge at a hackathon and stuff like that. And it's like she's already kind of gone through that computer science realm, like, and she's a 4th year now. She graduates in December, so she's kind of gone through the whole journey. So it's like, okay, she's gone through the journey. She's experienced a lot of it. She kind of knows like what to do, what kind of not to do, how to like improve your skills and stuff like that. So I'm like, why not learn from somebody that's gone through it rather than just trying to like force my own way through it and getting lost halfway through and then making up progress.
You can learn so many lessons from people who've already had
Exactly. And because of her, like my resume, like first month of school, my resume was better than half the people at U Michigan. You know, because she sent me a template of a resume. She's like, fill this stuff out, remove everything that's your high school experience. You're in college now. Colleges don't care about your high school stuff. And then that sort of also motivated me because when I removed all my high school stuff, it was still my first month at UMich, right? But my resume was pretty much empty, you know? So I was like, okay, like, I need to fill this out. Like, I need to get started on stuff. Like, now's the time, you know? College is the time to build your future, you know? This is where we're placing stepping stones for our success, you know? What we do now determines whether or not we get to relax in our 40s or not, you know? If we slack off now, then we're going to be working, like, really hard in our 40s and 30s. But if we work really hard now, we have the chance. It's not guaranteed, but we have a better chance of, you know, being able to take it more easy in our 40s, enjoying more time with our children rather than working all day, you know?
Definitely. The decisions you make now impact, like, the rest of your life. And
yeah, exactly.
I feel like in addition to that, like, it's also just more fulfilling to live a lifestyle where you're achieving a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because you kind of know in the back of your mind that it will lead to a lot more success down the road and a lot more peace down the road. And, you know, when you're talking about all the people you met, I was just thinking, I remember the first week or two I was at Mich, there was a fire alarm in Mojo, and like everyone came outside, and I saw how many people lived in that dorm. You know, like it didn't seem that big, but when you go and you see everyone outside, it's like this is more people than my entire high school. Yeah. And you know, going back to what you're saying, like everyone has a unique story. You know, the security guard is a unique story. You know, the person you're getting mentorship from is a unique story. And, like everyone is so different and so unique, and that is almost insane to me because you know, listening to you, like you were considering playing D1 soccer. Like I've never like experienced that. You know, and I feel like learning from you. I got to enter that whole world of like what is D1 soccer like why did you decide to pursue that path, you know, like what all the decisions and thought process you went through on the way, like that to me is insane.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, yeah, it's just a huge, like that's the thing that I was talking about, like my mind can't comprehend. Like I had to make decisions, I had to live through those experiences and like decide whether to do this or do that, but like 7 billion people have had to done similar things, make harder decisions, and it's just like something crazy to wrap my head around. And it's like, and all these unique experiences at the end of the day essentially shape who we are, which is even crazier because it's like I'm myself, right? And then maybe like I see somebody else and they act completely different. They say completely different things, and I'm like, wow, like why did they act like that? Why do they think like that? And it's like they have their experiences, I have my experiences. And our experiences is what led us to this moment for them to have that personality and me to have this personality.
Yeah, like you'd be such a different person.
Yeah, but it's like and then you think at the same time, like if I lived through those experiences, would I like have the same personality as them?
That's what I think about sometimes. Like I was having this conversation with my friend because I was like, oh, I feel so bad for like that one person because you know his experiences led him to that outcome. Yeah. But then he was almost more like, well, no, like he made those decisions. You know, like it was his. I guess that's where it kind of gets in this like shady territory where, like, for the most part, I believe in like merit based, where like if the people who actually like take control of their life are the ones who get the best outcomes. But at the same time, like so much of it is from your experiences and mold you. You know, like the whole way you look at the world, the lens through which you see the world, the lens through which you do problem solving. It's all built upon like those unique experiences you had growing up, which kind of form the person. So it's, I don't know, like would I be exactly like you if I had your parents and grew up in your exact same experience? Like I don't know, it's hard to see that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like for me, my parents have always like raised me with the thought of like so like I'm Brazilian, right? So I've always spoken to my parents in Portuguese, still do. So like I say, my dad would always say is primeiro educação, depois diversão. So first is your education, after is like fun and leisure activities type of thing, right? So he's like, you can have fun as long as before you went to go have fun, you turned in your homework by that night. You did the project you were supposed to do by that night. You know, it's sort of like a saying, like, if you have homework due a Friday night and you haven't gotten it done, you shouldn't be going out. You shouldn't be going out to a party. You shouldn't be going out to hang out with your friends or anything like that. You can if you had finished that stuff before, you know? So, like, that kind of, like, saying, and, like, he has that ingrained in me since, like, I was really young. So it's, like, nowadays, I always get my work done, like, I try to get my work done, like, a week in advance, so that, you know, if any spontaneous activity happens or anything like that, I can go to it and not be like, oh wait, I got homework due tonight that I never started, you know. So like my classes right now, I have like one assignment due every Thursday and 5 assignments due every Friday, right? And if it's like, if I procrastinate and just let that pile up, Friday is gonna come and I'm gonna have 5 assignments due, you know. So it's like I have to really think about my week and plan out like, okay, if my friends spontaneously invite me to, oh, let's go out Friday, or like, oh, we should all grab dinner together on Friday or something like that, I would want to go. But with those 5 assignments, I would never be able to go if I procrastinated and just.
It's a lot for one day on Friday.
Exactly.
Like, most people leave at the last minute.
Exactly. Because like our professors are like, oh, realistically, you should do it like right after class. But like, since we know you guys are college students, we're just gonna make it due Friday, right? But then there's people that just procrastinate it, and then they have like 5 assignments due Friday, you know. So it's like,
it's a tough one, man.
Exactly. So what I do is like, I just think like, I think long term, you know, if there's something spontaneous that happens that I would want to go to, I want to have the luxury to be able to decide whether or not to go.
Well,
know?
I feel like it's so hard to live like that because, you know, I feel like most people do agree that if, like, they do want to get ahead of their stuff, you know, like they see assignment down the road 2 weeks from now, like they will try to start early. But I think when you have that comfort of like, I have so much time ahead of me, it's so easy to leave to last minute. And, you know, I think a lot of people who even care about trying to get things done on time will end up leaving things to last minute. So if you, like, how are you so effective at getting things done like a week before? You know, like I feel like that takes a lot of like willpower and discipline to do that. Like, how have you managed to achieve that?
I mean, because at the same time, I feel like leisure time and everything like that, like things we do to procrastinate, I feel like I view those as sort of like a benefit, you know, a success. It's like something you do after you've accomplished something, you know.
A reward.
And
like a reward.
Yeah, a reward. Exactly. That's the word I was looking for. So it's like sometimes I'll like have my laptop open. I'll be wanting to do work, and then I'll see like I'll grab my phone and I'll start scrolling on like Instagram or TikTok. But then like I'll feel bad. Like I'm like, okay, I dead ass have my homework open right in front of me, and I'm like scrolling right now, and I'm like, okay, like let's think of the future. Let's think of the people that build the future, the innovators, the successful people, right? Whenever they have time to themselves, are they scrolling through Instagram? Are they scrolling through TikTok? Are they like Snapchatting people all the time? No, they're getting ready for the next project. They're getting ready for the next big thing they want to work on, right? So that's kind of like the mentality I have. It's like successful people aren't the ones that procrastinate 100% of the time. They procrastinate a little bit, right? Like people aren't perfect, you know. Like even though like all those rich millionaires and blah 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 love to say like, oh, I grind every day, blah 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 blah. There's some room in there where they procrastinate a bit, and that's natural. That's human, you know. But at the same time, they get over that procrastination, you know. Procrastination at the end of the day is just a state of mind. It's a mentality. It's an excuse for you not to do something that's challenging, you know. And you kind of have to embrace the challenge, especially now that we're like in college. We've already faced so many struggles and discomforts that we've kind of realized that through those discomforts, we've grown the most, you know. So, and procrastination is a way for our mind itself to protect us from that discomfort. That's essentially what procrastination is, you know. Oh, I have a 1,000-word essay, you know, in your brain, it's like subconsciously it's scary, you know, it's like intimidating. So what does your brain do? We try to avoid the discomfort. We try to avoid what's going to harm us in the future. So what's not going to harm us in the future? TikTok, Instagram, brainwash, all that stuff, you know. So that's why we procrastinate essentially. And it's just like once you sort of like once you clock that, once you realize that, then you're like, oh wow, like my brain right now is seeking the comfort over the discomfort of this assignment. Even though I personally know if I put myself in a situation where I'm uncomfortable right now, in 3 days time, I'm gonna be thanking myself because I'm gonna have more time to do something else, you know, to go to a spontaneous club meeting last minute that's a networking opportunity, or to just go hang out with friends that I wouldn't have been able to do if I hadn't done that assignment on Sunday, you know. So that's kind of like how like I push through the mentality of, oh, I got this assignment in a week, but like I still got so much time, let me just chill a bit, you know. And I mean, a lot of my procrastination is actually just the gym, you know, like
that's good procrastination.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I allow myself to do that because I enjoy going to the gym. But like, for example, weekends, like I get a lot of work done, but mostly at night because I normally wake up and then go to the gym. But like, it's the weekend, so I want to have like a great gym session. So, you know, I get like I get some like Rice Krispies from the vending machine to get some simple carbohydrates in. Then I get like, my Celsius, and while I'm drinking my Celsius, I'm watching like motivational videos, trying to get hype. And then by the time I realize like 30 minutes has passed and I'm just getting motivation, and then I go to the gym and like I have a blast, but then like I take my time at the gym, like I really, rest a lot.
And it's fun to like just be there for 3 hours sometimes.
Exactly. And then afterwards I take like a nice warm shower, like I think about life and stuff like that. Like
the whole day's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And then by the time I realize it, it's like 6, 7 p.m. and I'm like, okay, now it's time to lock in, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not one to be going, I don't go out like I wouldn't say at all. I've gone out like 3 times maybe.
Yeah.
But for me, like
the whole year or like the school year, you mean?
The whole school year, yeah,
That's
exactly.
good.
So it's like I don't be
like
going out to
that.
parties like all that much either. So for me, it's not like, oh my god, it's 7 p.m. I gotta go out in 3 hours, like, or I gotta go out in 2 hours. Like I don't really mind. So when it gets to 7 p.m., then I'm like, okay, like every time it gets to 7 p.m., I'm like, damn, I really wish I had started a little bit earlier. But I had a good workout, so like I don't feel like as bad about it. But like, it's different than like catching myself scrolling on TikTok or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty
like,
bad. I feel like it's so weird when you don't like have a plan. Like the whole day just kind of becomes like this one long, continuous, weird kind of thing. Like sometimes like I go through stages of life where like I'll stop using the Google Calendar or something, and then it's like my whole day is just like me doing what I feel like in the moment, and like just the time flies like crazy. Like I'll be in the same position, it'll be like 6, 7 p.m. Like I didn't do shit. I just like lived in the gym for like the whole day.
Yeah,
and I feel like when I regimented, like okay, I have to be done with the gym by like from 11 to like 1 or something, then it's like I know my mind of somewhere else to be, so that helps sometimes. But I guess one more thing I've been kind of thinking about recently is like I've never been like the type to study like late at night, but I usually try to get most of my stuff done during the day so I can get enough sleep at night. But I just feel like recently I've studied so well at night. I just feel like if I start around like 8, 9 p.m. and I just grind to like midnight or 1, like that is so productive for me because I'm just able to lock in for this indefinite period of time. So I've been thinking of incorporating more of that in the next month here, just because of like how it's so satisfying to get that much done in that period of time. But at the same time, it like conflicts with this value of sleep and stuff. So I'm curious like what's been your approach? Because I know you take a bunch of hard classes too. You're in CS as well. So
no, yeah. So like in high school, my school started from 8:30 and ended at 4:30. But then at the same time, I played 3 sports. I was captain of the varsity soccer and volleyball team.
That's not the same season, right?
No, it's not the same season. Yeah, soccer's in the winter for Miami because it's so hot.
Oh,
so we can't play during the
that's
spring.
sick. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we can't play during the spring because it's way too hot and people like pass out from dehydration.
What's the weather like in the winter?
Like low 70s minimum. That's
Nice.
the lowest, But like still like when we're playing, it's still 80s,
That's wild.
Yeah, in like December.
Yeah, how you been holding up here, man?
Yeah, no, it's been awful. It's literally been awful. Like I saw somebody else and like. I saw somebody yesterday, I think, and they were like, "Oh, we hope you can enjoy like the warmer weather today." It was like 33. I was like, "What are you talking about, warmer weather? Like it's supposed to be springtime." Like if I was back in Miami, it's like 84.
Yesterday was
now.
nice though.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was so
bro.
windy. It was so windy. It was so windy.
I was wearing a t-shirt, man.
I did not mess with
bars.
the wind. No, I had this hoodie and like my big like puffer thing on.
Still,
too.
bro, I ditched the puffer 2 months ago.
No, I still wear that thing. Like that was ridiculous yesterday. But
Which I must study.
oh yeah, I played 3 sports in high school, right? So class would end at 4:30. 5:30 was practice time. They gave us a little bit of time to like say bye to our friends, hang out a little bit. 5:30 practice.
Was this practice
started.
at school, right?
At school,
Okay.
yeah, at school, and then practice was 2 hours long. So practice ended at 7:30, 8 o'clock. But at the same time, I lived an hour away from my school.
No.
So then I would only get home at like 9 p.m. every night.
Dude, an hour commute's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day?
So yeah, exactly.
What time do you leave? Like 7:30?
Yeah, exactly. To get to school on time, I'd have to leave before 7:30 because of Miami traffic. Like if there was no traffic, I could make it to school in 40, 45 minutes. Chill, right? That's what Google Maps says. But then in the morning, it's an hour and 15, because Miami traffic is ridiculous. So if I wanted to get to school on time, if I left at like 7:31, I was late. If I left at 7:29, I would get there on time. It's ridiculous. I never understood how that worked, but that's how it works. I would leave a minute after 7:30, I'd get to school late. I'd leave a minute before, I'd get there on time. I never understood how that works, but it works like
The traffic flows.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. But so I would leave my house like during high school. I'd be gone from my house for like 14 hours every day.
Wow.
Like my parents would never see me because we live so far. So I'd leave for school early in the morning, like say before 7:30, and then I would get back home at like 9 o'clock. So if you think about that, that's 13 and a half hours. you know? So it's like
every day, I mean, that's probably overwhelming, man.
But then at the end of the day, like, where did I do work? You know, I was in school and then I was in practice. Now it's time to do homework. Now it's time to study for the quiz I got tomorrow. You know, so I kind of got in that habit of studying really late at night and going for like an extended period of time. In high school, a lot of the times I would go to sleep at like 2 a.m.
Wow.
Because of that schedule, you know, like I get back home at 9, but I need to shower. I need to eat dinner. You know, I still have to talk to my parents a little bit. Like I can't just, you know, completely dismiss them like that. And then I still had work to do, you know, so like I would get home, I'd take my shower, and to me, my shower is like a safe place, you know, so like that's the time where I really get to like relax, like for real, because they're like, there's no devices, there's no nothing, you know, it's just the sound of the water hitting
that's
you,
so much fun.
And it's just like, you know, it's so zen, you know, that's where like I think about like life, like honestly,
Same
like
here.
I end up taking 30-minute showers sometimes, like even an hour, because I'm just sitting there like, wow, like this is where I'm at in life right now, like. This is what I gotta do.
You forget sometimes when you're in the
exactly.
the hustle.
Yeah, exactly. I just was thinking about more and more and more and more stuff, and I'm like, wow, you know. And then I gotta eat dinner, and then yada yada, and then so then I only be able to start really studying 9:30, 10 o'clock. You know, so I'm used to sort of studying late night and studying for like an extended period of time, which is also how I learned how to make my weekends more valuable. You know, since I only have like, let's say 4 hours every day to like really like sit down and study. Because
how much sleep did you get?
I would get like on a perfect day, I would get like 5-6 hours of sleep.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, exactly. But then like,
college must be a blessing for you.
Oh, it's great. I love it. It's so fantastic, you know. But like my the secretary at my school, she used to tell me all the time, like she says, because like my parents drove me freshman and sophomore year, right?
They drove you. Okay.
Yeah, they drove me. So then freshman sophomore year, she'd always be like, I remember in the beginning of like high school. I'd see your mom pulling up to drop you off, and you'd be passed out in the car. I'm like, yep, that's exactly what happened. Cause like I'd pull up to school, and my head would be against the window, and I'd be like drooling. And then my mom would be like, "Son, we're at school," and I'd be like, "Okay." And then I'd leave the car, and I'd walk to school like half asleep, you know. But then eventually that started to catch up with me, cause like my third period class junior year was AP biology, right? Which is like not an easy course at all, you know. Like I struggled a bit in that one to like get an A and everything. But like my teacher, she would turn off the lights every class, and she talked in such a monotone and low key smoothing voice. Like I could not keep myself awake in that class. I'm not gonna lie. And like I talked to her like after class, like every time I fell asleep and stuff like that. I'd be like, "I'm so sorry. Like I don't mean to fall asleep. It's not like I'm putting my head down and falling asleep. I'm like watching her. I'm listening to her, and I'm like, and then my vision would go blurry, and then I feel like I was about to pass out, and then out of nowhere, I open my eyes. But then I'm like, how did I just open my eyes? When did I close them? And then I asked somebody, and then I asked the person to my left, and like, yo, you've been passed out for the past like 30 minutes. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, don't tell me. And then I gotta go talk to the teacher, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm actually so sorry.
Small classes?
Like, yeah, no, it was just like her class, like
I mean, like class size was it like small?
Oh yeah, it was small. Like my school was like 400 kids total.
Same here,
my graduating class was 68.
Whoa.
You know? Yeah, so that class was.
Wait, so you're saying K to 12 was 400?
No. 9 through 12 was 400.
Okay, cause yeah, I had like 150 graduating classes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it was like 400 something kids in the total. It was weird.
Oh wow, that's.
I got a big one, I guess.
Yeah. But then so that class had like, I don't know, some like 28 kids in it. You know, so it's like if I'm passed out in the middle of the class, like it's obvious, everybody knows. You know, but it's just like lights off. She closes the curtains. You know,
does she play something on the screen? Is that what?
Yeah, like she would have a projector on the screen, and then she just like talk about it and like read off the slides. And it's like I read the slides faster than her, and she just reads the slides and like expands a little bit on it. But other than that, it's like, you know, gotta be like super focused. Like I remember like one time, like this is super bad, but like when you get injured, your body naturally releases adrenaline to like, you know, fight or flight type of thing, right? So like I remember like for like a couple weeks. Like every time like I start falling asleep, I had like a thumbtack, and I would like poke myself with it like low key. I'm like, yo, stay awake.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I would poke myself to try to release adrenaline so that like I would stay awake, and it low key did not work. Like I was poking myself, And then eventually, like, I get tired of poking myself, and I pass out. I was like, yeah. I'd be like, and then as I realized
people just watch you
like,
try to stay awake.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody would like look around, and then like they start pointing their friends. They're like, yo, look, he's about to pass out. And then I'd be like, like it was ridiculous, and I felt so bad every time. But it's just like because of the schedule I just told you about, like I really couldn't keep it up, you know. But like I made up for that time that like I ended up like accidentally falling asleep at night. I'd go over the slides of for that day. I'd study super hard. But then that's where I made up my time with the weekends, you know? So if I knew I had a quiz on a Thursday, I studied for that quiz like it was Monday, you know? So that Saturday, Sunday, you know, I had it all studied up. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I can work on assignments that my professor gave.
The day of.
Day of. And it's like, oh, this is due tomorrow.
That's smart, man. I got to get back into that because I feel like I was better about that in high school, but in college, like, you know, project due Friday, I'm like, whatever, let's just like spend the whole day podcasting and doing random shit. Like, I should probably get to it too, but... I mean, like, I feel like you obviously look back at that era, and it was difficult, obviously. You know?
Yeah.
Very little amount of sleep. You know, you got soccer practice, and you got school, and, you know, you want to have a little bit of a social life, too, and you have the weekends to catch up on sleep. So I'm sure it was very hard, but do you ever look back at it with, like, pride or, like, you miss it in a way? Like, was it ever fun in a way?
I would say it was fun because, like, at the end of the day, I did still have a social life, you know? And, I mean, I graduated second in my class. So, like, that's an achievement, like, I'll hold, like, every day of the year, you know. It was, like, a difficult school, and I still managed to get, like, all A's, you know. I still, like, was locked in, and I still had a social life, you know. I ended up being captain, but, like, I was friends with everybody on my team, you know. I was friends with their friends, you know. I had a lot of friends in my grade, so it's not like I was, like, socially outcast and I was just, like, in my little bubble or anything like that. Like, I was still really social and everything like that, like, not that, like, this type of stuff matters at all, but, like, I was prom and homecoming queen and stuff like that. King. And stuff like that. No. But, like, I was, like, you know, prom and homecoming king, but, like, that stuff doesn't matter. But, like, you know, like, people, like, knew me and people, like, you know. So I do look back at it at pride because, like, when I talk about it, like, it sounds like a crazy schedule, but, like, I lived through that stuff. You know?
Miss it?
Yeah. Do I miss it? I mean, it was fun, like, you know, because, like, I would hear other people, like, complaining and being like, oh, I don't have enough time to study after school, blah, 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 blah. And I think to myself, like, come on, you don't have time to study after school.
Come on, bro.
Buddy, live a day of my life. Like, what? You know, but I take pride in that and, like, okay, yeah, we're all struggling. But, like, low-key, like, I felt like I was struggling more because of, like, my whole schedule and how I lived an hour away. But I was still doing better than others, you know? Like, that was a motivation for me. Like, I'm not going to let my time, like, how much time I have dictate my grade in school, you know? Like, other people are complaining about how much time they have in school. I'm pretty sure, I don't know their lives, but I'm pretty sure I have less time than you. Yeah. But I'm still getting my shit done.
Well, everything's possible, you know? I feel like people make excuses because, like, I feel like time is so hard to conceptualize in your head. You know, like, kind of like we were talking about your Saturdays, right? You know, like, if you spend the whole Saturday, you know, going to the gym and doing this whole thing, like, it's 6 p.m., 7 p.m., like, where all the time go? I feel like at a smaller scale, that could be other people's lives where time kind of bends around your schedule, right? So if you make a schedule with, like, 30 main activities to do in the day, your free time will kind of bend around it, so it'll make it seem as if those 3 activities are all you have time for. But I feel like if you try to incorporate more, like, I feel like people will find out that they're a lot more capable of doing more than they think they can. And I've even found that out in my own life sometimes where I think I've hit my limit, but then I add more and I'm like, wait, I can actually do more if I tried to. And I kind of think about it in another sense with the gym where, you know, we go for bench PRs and stuff, but in theory, we have the strength to lift a lot more than we actually can. Yeah. But our mind kind of places a limitation on that to protect us, really. But, you know, a lot of power lifters, I think the guy who has the number one, you can check this too, but the guy who has the bench PR in the world, like 1,000 pounds or something, right? I think what he said is, like, before he went to go for that PR, he pretended that he would get in this mindset where he would pretend that he's lifting a car over, like, his 3-year-old kid or something. You know, like, I feel like if he, because your mind.
You're talking about Eddie Hall and his.
Is that true?
Yeah. He had like 1,000-kilo deadlifts.
Yeah.
Deadlift?
Yeah, Eddie Hall.
500 kilos.
I thought it was bench.
No.
Eddie, I don't remember.
Deadlift.
So he has, like, the world record deadlift, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the.
Yeah, and to
This is
believe
the
his
story.
500K deadlift was a car being lifted off his daughter.
Yeah. See, the whole point of that is that like people will be like, oh, I don't have time to do school and stuff. Like, you can reframe your brain to do anything. I'm not saying you gotta do that, but you are. I feel like everyone's capable of more, and our brain is just the enemy that prevents it. It's pretty cool though. Eddie Hall hypnotizing himself into believing his 500 kg deadlift was a car being lifted off his daughter. Hypnosis can be very powerful. Could this possibly be used to help me improve my sprinting times?
I mean, probably. If you think some scary guy's chasing you, you're gonna run a little bit faster.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
it would work.
What's this guy saying? Visualization or, you want to zoom in on that? Oxytonic training, as the Russians called it, has proven to be extremely effective method for enhancing performance. Basically, visualization, imagination, helps you prepare for future events from an evolutionary perspective. This allows you to deal with the possible sensations and perceptions of sprinting better, and oxytonic training also activated almost the same neurons in the cerebellum. I have not studied hypnosis, but it is important to know that optimal performance in a dumb, mechanically simple strength lift requires higher arousal than in sprinting. I mean, my friend John, he was also doing something similar because he just hit 300 on bench. Damn. And he was like, he got into like a really dark place before he did it. And I mean, it works, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all those like memes and stuff you see there. It's like, oh, the person just like their ex broke their heart and now they're like lifting like twice as heavy, you know?
Yeah.
It's because I guess like, because I mean, it is essentially a physical exercise, but it's also like psychological. Like if you're there just like, you know, mess around, you're like really not in that headspace, you're not going to lift as heavy as if you're like really locked in, you're really sort of like stimulating all your muscle fibers and you're merely like locked in essentially, you know, you lift a lot differently. You know, but going back to what you were saying about, you know, you can do more than you can. It's like with that schedule I had in high school, there was really no room for procrastination. You know, I didn't have time for procrastination, and I actually learned about this and like watched a lot about this because I thought it was kind of fascinating. And it's like the time you allot for a task is the time it takes you to complete that task, right? So if there's a homework and you expect yourself to finish it in an hour, but you give yourself 3 hours to do it, you're going to take 3 hours to do it. Mostly because you're going to start and then you're going to be like, oh, I have 3 hours to do this. I'm going to like procrastinate a little bit. You're not going to be as locked in. Whereas if you had an assignment that you thought you could do in an hour, but because of how let's say an assignment you thought you could do in 3 hours, but you only had 2 hours based on your schedule, you're going to get it done in 2 hours, right? If maybe you had that extra hour, it would maybe be slightly higher quality. Yes, maybe. But you're still going to get it done in that 2 hours. But if you had that same 3 hour assignment and you gave yourself 5 hours, you would take 5 hours to do it. And not because, oh, your quality of it improved, but it's just since you gave yourself so much time, you had more time to procrastinate and to avoid doing it, you know? But if it's like, you know, the type of thing where it's like, if your assignment is due at midnight, actually everybody does this all the time. Your assignment is due at midnight that day. Everybody procrastinates until the last hour, and in that last hour, they scramble, blah, 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 but they get it done and turn it in on time, you know? Now imagine if they'd done that, given themselves 2 hours 2 days before, you know? But they had locked in the exact same amount that they did that last hour before they submitted. That essay or whatever assignment that was would have been crazy. Would have been one of their best works because they were locked in for that 2 hour time. And like that's something that I try to do to myself. It's kind of place that personal deadline where it's like, okay, it's due at 11:59 in 3 days, but let's say 11:59 is in 2 hours, right? I gotta get this done in 2 hours, or I'm not gonna get back to it at all. You know, that's what I did with one of my assignments that was due Thursday. I finished it on Tuesday because I had an exam Monday. I had an exam Thursday night, right?
What did you have Monday? EX 280?
Huh?
Yeah, are you EX 280 or not?
No, I was not an EX 280. It was Physics 240.
Oh, okay.
But I had an econ final. I had an econ second midterm.
Thursday, right?
Yeah, it was chill.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But it was on Thursday night from 8 to like 9:30. But I also have an EX 203 assignment due on Thursday at 10, right? So it's like, okay, either I can procrastinate this and like take it, you know, like during like right after my exam or something like that. But I had like a meeting.
That would suck doing that after the exam.
Yeah, exactly. I had a meeting after my exam. I had 2 meetings after my exam actually on Thursday. So it's like I wouldn't have had time to do that homework regardless. And Wednesday, I wanted to spend Wednesday studying for my econ exam the next day. So I was like, man, I need to get this done as early as possible so I can have time to study for it, you know? and I didn't work on it during the weekend because I had the physics 240
Busy
exam
man.
on Monday. Exactly. So I was like, yo, Tuesday's a perfect opportunity. And it's like, I'm not going to take the whole Tuesday to do it because I also got other stuff to do.
Those 2 or 3 assignments take so long, too.
Yeah, exactly. They take forever. Thankfully, this week's I don't think was that bad compared to other weeks. But it's just like, you know, like, I have to get it done now, or I don't want to do it Wednesday because I want to study for the midterm. I don't want to get it done on Thursday because that's the day of the midterm, you know. I need to be locked in on that, not on other things, you know. So I kind of gave myself, like, a solid 3 hours to work on it. I sat down at the Ugly, and I just worked on it, you know. I grinded it out. And I had that mentality that, like, okay, this assignment is due, like, I forgot what time. I think it was 10 p.m., you know. Like, I sat down there at, like, 7 p.m. I was like, okay, this 11:59 for me is 10 p.m. If I don't get this thing done by 10 p.m., it's, like, game over. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. So I locked in for those 3 hours, and I hustled and grinded it. And I got it done. I got it done a little bit before 10, actually, because of how locked in I was. But it's just, like, you have to sort of set those personal deadlines.
They work, man.
Yeah, and put yourself in the mentality that you have whenever you're scrambling and the assignment's due in an hour. You know, because, like, it's not like we can't do it. We do it all the time. You know, we procrastinate, and then that last hour, we become a completely new person, and then, boom, the assignment's done, you know? But if you can switch into that mode on command, you're going to be extremely powerful and extremely successful in the future. You know, it's like, oh, I got this business project that I want to do. It's like, boom, if you can switch that mode on for 2 hours, imagine how much work you could do. That's more work than you could have done in 2 or 3 days if you were, like, locked in and then procrastinating the entire time.
No, I like to do it the same way. I feel like that's kind of the reason why I hate extensions and you know, like scheduling, like choosing the last possible date to present. You know, there's always like those times where, like, I had an essay due Thursday, and she was like, oh, if you want an extension, feel free to email me. You know, and like it's kind of appealing. Like, oh, okay, like, it's like comforting that okay, I can always ask for that. But I thought to myself, like, I was gonna be stressed about it, like, continually if I keep giving myself an extension, right?
Exactly.
So just get on the first day, and then the next day, like, everyone's like still talking about, oh, because they got the extension. I'm like, oh, that's like far in the past now, you know.
Yeah.
And like, you know, when teachers would give out options for, like, you know, what day do you want to present, you can, like, fill it out, and everyone's like choosing the last day so as much time as possible. Like, I always choose the first one because like I know that by the principle he said, like, you'll get it done in that time. Like, if you give yourself a day to do it, you'll get it on a day, and you don't have to worry about it for, like, the next month. You know?
Exactly.
So, you know, I feel like stress. There's so many ways you can combat stress, and you can, like, work to reduce that. And there's so many powerful ways to do. Like, whenever I'm studying, like, I'll always put, like, a stopwatch on or, like, a timer on. Just gotta give myself a challenge. Like, what could you get done in an hour? You know, what could you get done in 3 hours? And it's amazing how much when you have, like, a stopwatch going, like, that psychological effect. Like, you just not even want to pick up your phone.
Yeah.
You know, like, you see that on there, like, oh, I'm in this state of mind right now. You know, I'm not doing anything else. And when you get so much done in that period of time and you're in that flow state, it is one of the most fulfilling and satisfying feelings in the world, man.
Exactly. And I mean, that's the reason why I like to, like, pack my schedule now that I'm here in college. You know, it's like, yes, in college you have so much free time, but it's just like, you shouldn't have free time. You know, like, now, like I said before, we're building our future. If you have free time, you're low-key doing something wrong. You know, you should be having a bunch of projects, a bunch of clubs that you're filling your time up with apart from classes, you know, because those not only build your resume, but those also build your work ethic. Those also, you know, cause those crunch time and put you in that state like, oh, shoot, I only have 2 hours to do this and after 2 hours I have a meeting from 9 to 11, you know? And it's like, if you have an extraordinary amount of free time compared to high school, in college, I think you're doing something wrong. Because there's no reason why you should be having that free time.
You know?
Huh?
It's so easy to just load up on free time.
Yeah, exactly. It's so easy. It's like, it's so easy to go to your class and go back, you know, and then chill for the entire day. But then that's what separates, you know, the successful from, like, the rest. You know, if you're just here in college just to go to school and then call it a day, you're not really making the most of your money. I mean, we're paying to be here. You're really not making the most of your money, and you're not making the most of your education. You know, you're supposed to be going to your classes and trying to apply that knowledge either in clubs or seeking leadership opportunities or starting a project or researching internship opportunities or doing anything, you know, improving soft skills and something like that, you know. Like, there's a bunch of free courses on, like, LinkedIn, a bunch of, like, I'm a computer science major, so there's a bunch of courses online that I just, like, try to, like, get through just so I can improve my programming. Improving my typing speed is something I do every now and then, you know. Like, sometimes, like, I'll be, like, wanting to procrastinate an assignment, but it's just, like, if I go on my phone, that's, like, huge procrastination. So I'm like, you know what, let me do, like, a productive type of procrastination. So I'll be like, all right, let me, like, let me, like, if I reach a point in my project where, like, I'm stuck or, like, I'm frustrated or something like that, I'm like, all right, let me take a break. Let me just practice my coding typing. You know, I found this website where it records your words per minute, but it's coding. You know?
Really?
Exactly.
That's
so,
cool.
like, you got to use the brackets and stuff like that. And it's just been improving my coding time because then, like, whenever, like, I need to submit an assignment or something like that, I can focus most of my time thinking about how to solve the problem and less time, you know, like clicking on the buttons with my, like, index fingers.
Are you taking any CS classes right now? Or
CS classes? No, I was taking one online through a third-party organization called CodePath. I was taking iOS 101, but I had to step back from that because of the club I'm in. But I'm not taking any CS classes, but I'm in a club called Google Developers, which is the club that meets from 9 to 11 p.m. on Tuesdays, Thursdays.
it's a lot.
And yeah, but essentially we build apps for Google affiliated companies, right? So I'm not in any CS classes, but I'm still applying my skills. And actually just last night I was researching and I found a website that essentially teaches you Python as a game, you know? So you're like going through a game, so you kind of get the same, what's the word? The word for happiness, like the
Fulfillment. Satisfaction.
No, the thing your body releases when you're
Serotonin.
Yes, that's it. So your body releases the same amount of serotonin when you're doing the coding game as you would if you were playing a regular game, you know? So it's not like, because at the end of the day, like, I probably remember a lot more about, you know, like, I don't even remember, like, I probably know a lot more about my gameplay experience of Red Dead Redemption than I do my Calc 3 class 2 years ago, you know? Because I enjoyed it so much more and I had so many, like, fond memories of playing the game that I have more recollection of that than my Calc 3 class, you'll say, you know? So if you do something that you're not only learning, but you're also having fun learning, you're more likely to retain that information long term, you know?
Makes sense.
So that's why I was, like, looking for websites like this, like, because I feel like Python's a great language for, like, coding interviews, but I want to learn it in a fun way so that I retain that knowledge long term, so I don't have to keep reteaching myself the same, like, basic stuff or the same data structures and stuff like that that I learned 2-3 years prior, you know? So so I found this website out and I'm going to be working on it within the next couple of weeks, and you know, it's just one of the many resources I've been exposed to now that I'm here in college. Like, my mentor exposed me to another website that was really useful called Odin Project. It essentially takes you through, like, the basics and even some of the higher level stuff for, like, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you go through, they teach you. It's a bunch of developers from all over the nation, all over the country, honestly, contributed to this website with their own knowledge. So it has a collection. It's not like a textbook. It's a collection of experienced programmers that collected all that information for newcomers, and they laid it out in a great order, you know? So you just go through it simply, and then they have you creating projects as you do it. So you're not only, like, reading it and learning it from reading, you're also learning it by practicing, you know? So through it, you create, like, you create websites, and through that experience, I created, like, my portfolio website. They make you do the basic calculator app that everybody talks about, rock, paper, scissors. They teach you how to make that app and stuff like that. And it's just, like, you know, like, when I was exposed to that through my mentor, like, the first month of college, I was like, why wasn't I, like, looking at this stuff in high school? You know, like, there's so much resources. The internet is so vast, and there's so many talented and experienced people in like, every field that want to help newcomers, you know, that try to help newcomers in some way. You just have to find it, you know? Like, there's so many resources, and it's ridiculous that, like, sometimes it may be difficult to find, but, like, there's always somebody out there that's willing to help newcomers, and that's you got to reach out to them, or they've posted something about it, or, like, for, like, an opportunity, or there's, like, a website where they, like, have, like, a bunch of information on what you want to do. You just got to go out there and find it. And then that kind of, like, comes down to the fact, like, do you really want it? Do you have the hunger to seek that out? Do you have, you know, the passion to be successful? You know, because being successful isn't going to your classes and then going back to your room and just chilling for the rest of the day. Getting your homework done, turning it in on time, maybe not turning it on time, because some professors don't take credit off. like that's not having the hunger for it. You know, you got to go to class, come back and be like, all right, now that I came back from class, you know, what's my next step? You know, do I have a physical goal? Do I need to go to the gym? Okay, let's say I go to the gym. After I go to the gym, like, what's my career goal? Okay, I want to expand into the field of computer science. So what's that mean? I need to build up my skills. How do I build up my skills? I need to find resources. I can't do it by myself, you know? And then you got to go out, seek resources for that. And it's like, that to me is the beauty of college. That's what everybody here is doing, you know? Like, if you go to the library at any time, or if you go to the computing lab at any time, everybody's working on some like extravagant project. Everybody's got something that they're working on that they think is going to elevate them to the next level professionally, you know? And that's what we should all be doing. Like, that's what we should strive to do, you know? And that's also a reason why I like to work in those spaces, because I like to be surrounded by those people. And also, like, there's a difference in studying in a study room by yourself, whereas you're studying at the library with a bunch of people, like, around you doing their work, you know? Because you kind of feed off of that, like, mindset that they're in. You know, since we're all working hard, we're like, all right, I need to work harder than this person next to me. Like, I can't be the one here in the middle of the library that's scrolling on TikTok, you know? Or like if the person next to me starts scrolling on TikTok, I'm gonna be like, oh, they're scrolling on TikTok? I'm not one to be like that. I rise above those situations. Like, I'm gonna keep studying, you know?
Are you ever worried about like job market scarcity with CS?
I mean, everybody's saying the job market in computer science is inflated. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the mentality that you're gonna beat that inflation, then you don't deserve to be a computer scientist.
Well, I think there's definitely the inflation, right? It's saturated with so many people going in. But I guess another concern is like AI.
Yeah, and I mean, it's completely saturated. But I mean, at the end of the day, I believe I'm gonna beat the saturation. You know, I'm doing things that are gonna beat all of my competition, and I'm not afraid to take on a challenge. Like, yes, it's saturated, but like, what? Because it's saturated, I'm gonna completely change my major?
Well, no, even if you are like above the typical, like let's say you're above average, like you're the top of your class, like you're like above everyone else in CS. Like, do you still think there'll be availability for like the top people if AI is taking a lot of jobs or no?
Yeah, of course, because the top people are the ones that you can leverage AI the best.
Yeah.
You know, because especially like. So the job market is inflated for the bottom 90%. For the top 10%, there are so many openings for them because every company wants to integrate AI now.
Yeah, everyone wants software.
But who do they need for that? They need us. They need software engineers. They need computer scientists that know how to implement AI, how to build AI and implement that into the company's infrastructure, right? Now, the bottom 90% aren't going to know how to do that. The top 10%, though, they're going to know how to do that extremely well. And those are the people that these companies are going to want to hire, you know? Like, those are the people that are going to be able to automate their systems most effectively by utilizing AI, you know, which every company is going to want because that reduces their costs, you know? Like, with a smaller amount of input, due to AI, they can have a higher amount output, you know? So, and that's what every company wants, you know, efficiency. And that's what AI would do for them. Now, like I said, bottom 90% aren't going to know how to do that. But you got to be in that top 10% that does know how to leverage AI like that, because that's what every single company wants. You know, if I go down to like a simple like bakery store and I'll be like, yo, you want me to create you like a website that also has AI that, you know, asks the user questions, and then based on their questions they recommend your items that they could buy, they'd be like, yes, because that would increase their sales, you know? And
I mean, everyone's incentivized to get software. Every single company,
yes,
every single industry.
Exactly. So everybody's like, oh, computer science field is so saturated. It's like, no.
Everyone wants it.
Every company wants to hire software engineers. It's just you have to be good. You know, you can't be in the field just for the money and expect to, you know, land a job. Like, no, you have to have the passion for it and be able to actually, you know, learn it and just apply it, you know. There's a difference in just using ChatGPT to complete your code compared to actually understanding your code.
And leveraging ChatGPT in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like, yes, I use ChatGPT on my stuff, but I leverage it to learn what I'm doing.
Exactly.
You know, I'll ask it like, yo, can you make this for me? And then it makes me like a button and it styles it, let's say, right?
It's like so much high level thinking involved and debugging involved.
Exactly.
It's like just really a tool. And I think it's
exactly,
at least for the highest level of CS programmers, I think it's only helped them.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. Like, I'll ask it to like create a button and style it for me. I'm like, all right, explain what's happening in this line. It's like, oh, this line is for this, and
It's
that.
so good, man.
And then I'm like, okay, but like, what if I wanted to do something like this? And you're like, oh, if you wanted to do something like this, then you have to change this part here.
I think it's
why
best
would
for
I
like
change
fast
that?
learning.
Exactly.
Because like you learn like one language, but like if you want to learn another language really quick, they'll just teach you so fast. Everything
Exactly.
You need to know.
Exactly. And it's like you can use it as two ways. You can use it as a tool, or you can use it as a solution. You know, you can use it to solve all your coding problems or all your whatever major you are. You can use it to solve all your problems, solve all your answers, all your homeworks, blah, 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 blah. Or you can use it to help you answer those questions, so that way you can still think of it to yourself. One of my friends actually asked me recently, she was like, how do you even learn anything? Like, I see you using ChatGPT all the time. I'm like, yeah, I use ChatGPT all the time, but I'm not asking it to answer my question. I'm solving the question, and then I'm inputting my answer into ChatGPT, and I'm like, okay, highlight what I did wrong. And then but I'm like, don't fix it, highlight it. And then it highlights where I did wrong, and then I reread that part, and I'm like, okay, ChatGPT said this is wrong. Why is it wrong?
Yeah.
And I try to figure it out myself. And if I can't, I ask ChatGPT like, yo, what did I do wrong? You know, and then it tells me, and I'm like,
teacher,
oh, okay.
I mean, bro, it's so powerful.
It's so
You
powerful.
can learn so. I've learned ever since I started using ChatGPT. That like as much, I've definitely drastically increased my usage of it. I've learned so much about so much different stuff through it.
Exactly.
You can use it for like powerlifting advice, for like podcast advice, for school learning. Definitely, you know, you can use it for almost anything.
No, I actually, my dad didn't like this so much, but I actually used ChatGPT to quit my job. Like, I worked at the Bursley Dining Hall last semester,
Oh, you did?
right? Yeah, exactly. But then this semester I took on 17 credits, and I wanted to be more involved in clubs, right? And I wasn't going to be able to, you know, do school, go to the gym, do the clubs, get my homework done on time and everything like that, and also work 12 hours a week, you know? So I asked ChatGPT, like I started, this was at the beginning of this semester, where I was like in the introduction of Econ 101. So I was learning about like cost benefit, marginal principle, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, like I really understood the concept well in my economics class, and I liked it. Like I felt like it was a great way to look at things. So I asked ChatGPT like, use the cost benefit principle to weigh out either keeping my job and working 11 hours a week for this amount of hours, even though, you know, like these are like my finances and stuff like that, or do I drop it and become more involved in club activities that may boost my resume, allow me to learn more skills and stuff like that. And then it weighed it out, and it's like, okay, this is this is that, this is that. It's like, based on your situation, we say join more clubs so you can build your experience and then get a job again later on. You know, because at the end of the day, my parents are like paying for my education, so it's not like something I have to worry about that. I have the privilege of not having to worry about that. So it's like, you know, I don't really need to have a job compared to how much I need to gain these experiences through clubs and organizations and learning skills and stuff like that, right?
That makes sense.
So,
yeah. That's cool you really use it for that, though.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I use it all the time, but like, I try not to use it to solve everything.
Yeah.
I use it to help me identify my mistakes and learn from them. You know?
Yeah, I just bought Chat Pro.
Oh, you bought Chat
dude,
Pro?
It's so worth it.
Really?
I just found this link of something I did with Chat. I'm sending it to Teo so he can pull it up on the screen. But dude, here, I'm airdropping it to Teo. Is there airdrop now? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I this is very preliminary. Like I didn't put that much. So I put an Excel sheet together, which had all my shorts data of like all the shorts we've ever created. We have like hundreds of them, right? And it only had preliminary like data in it. It had like the titles of it, the tags we used, the themes, the length, and I gave it to ChatGPT 01 to do like a deep reasoning analysis of it to see. So yeah, if you go, you can scroll all the way to the top. You can see like the full like. Yeah, this is like what I told it to. Like I basically gave it a very detailed prompt to like analyze all like the performance of each of the shorts and tell me patterns in terms of like what does well, what does bad. And I just did this. I'm gonna send it to the whole team too. But you know, I gave it like all these instructions of what to find, and you know, there's so much work to add to it. This is very like a basic Excel sheet, right? I can add more like music to it. I can add like a transcript of the text in each one. Like there's so much more I can add to it, and it took like 20 minutes to analyze it. We used Python, a bunch of stuff, and the reason like it takes its time. So it took 20 minutes to analyze it, and then it gave me such a detailed report with very actionable things that we can do. in terms of like topics to focus on, length to focus on, and you know it was really cool. Like if you scroll down now, like you'll be able to see like it. Yeah, if you like zoom out real quick now, you'll scroll down past this. It just asked me like a quick question, but then after that here it did 20 minutes of reasoning, and here's like its whole analysis, and has links to each of the shorts that those files are each refer to a different short that it refers to like, and it's very good. It's not like some bullshit. Like it told me like we found out that the second we're below 15 seconds, the short is like almost half as bad, and if it's above 30 seconds, like almost every second we're like wasting, we're like significantly reducing the amount of viewership per short. So we kind of found this middle ground of like about 20 seconds is what we want for shorts, and then like topics to focus on that always do well. Like lifting videos, for example, never like blow up, but they always consistently do better than the average. You know, like our average is like 500 views. The lifting shorts usually get 1,000 to 1,500. But then the ones about like specific pop cultural references, like about some Nirvana band member or something about music, will like often do really well. Or political one will get like thousands of views. You know, so all these patterns I noticed, which is really cool. But dude, if you look how detailed it is, it was like, damn.
And
really
like
good.
you said a word that I really like, actionable. Like ChatGPT, if you ask it, build a plan, this, it'll create you an actionable, you know, agenda for you to do. And if you can stick by it, you know, you're setting yourself up for success. And I mean, like, I really like that word. Like, ChatGPT is great to create like actionable things. You know, if you want to save on, you know, finances, ask Chat. You know, it'll break you if you give it enough information. It'll break down your finances for you and help you in the best way. And it's like, yo, create me a cheap grocery list from Walmart that blah 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 blah. It's gonna pull up the Walmart database. It's gonna run an analysis through it. Look at the cheapest options. Look at what you want to eat. And it'll get that list for you, you know. And whereas you would take like maybe an hour or two doing that, he did it in like less than 5 minutes.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like it's such a great tool, but then again, you have to remember it's a tool. You can't use it as a
don't let it use you.
Yeah, you can't use it as a crunch. You know, it's not like, oh, I got homework due in 30 minutes because I procrastinated. Let me plug it all into ChatGPT and copy and paste it.
Exactly.
You know, because you don't learn.
Tool is the best word that you used. And
yeah.
I love that word too. I mean, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look at that. It's like such a deep analysis.
I love it, man.
I mean, I think it's worth it.
Pro?
Yeah, pro. Because it's $20 a month. Like, that's crazy.
I really like the O1 deep reasoning.
Huh?
The O1 deep reasoning model is really good. I like that. I also just like being able to do screenshots frequently.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, you get the limit on the normal chat.
Yeah, exactly.
I've played around with all the AIs. I think they say that some of the better ones, like the Cloud Sauna 3.7, is pretty good. Tay, what are some of the other popular ones? I know Grok is kind of popular. It's like
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek too. Yeah. I've not tried DeepSeek, but all the American AIs I tried, Chat I still think is the best.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I've thought about getting pro, but at the same time, like, I know myself, and I feel like if I do get pro, then I'll just be like screenshotting all my homeworks and stuff like that, and be sending it in and calling it a day, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas if I have that restraint where I can't screenshot that much,
it's a good limitation.
I'll naturally be forced to like ask Chat like ways to solve it instead
specific
of like
questions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, so like I used my friend's like Chat Pro once, and I was like, man, like I wouldn't be able to control myself if I could just screenshot my whole homework and just call it a day. Like I can't control myself like that, so I'm trying to like restrict myself to not get pro because I know it'll be very, very tempting to just screenshot everything and call it a day.
Yeah, especially if you shave at the last minute. You're like, oh, well, now I'm late.
Yeah, exactly. Because then at that point, I feel like for me, it wouldn't become a tool anymore. It'd become like a crutch, like I said before. So it's like, you know, like.
It's a difficult balance.
Yeah, exactly. I have to balance it. So I'm just going to be like, you know what? I'll take the free version.
There's a lot you can do with the free version.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's not as good. Like, it's not going to analyze that thing for 20 minutes and stuff like that. But like, I don't really need it to be analyzing anything for 20 minutes that deep. If I do, then maybe I'll consider
borrow a friend.
Yeah, borrow a friend, or maybe then I'll consider getting it. But like, as of currently, like I'm asking it like basic stuff to help me improve my skills. I'm not asking it to like analyze a whole data set. So you know, for now I don't need pro, but maybe in the future. But yeah, it's such a huge temptation. It's the same thing with having your phone up like this with your notifications turned on while you're studying. Yeah. You know, you're going to get a text from your friend and you're going to be like, oh shoot, yes I gotta answer, you know, and then you start texting and then boom, you're procrastinating.
Yeah,
you know?
that's gone.
That's how it
You open
falls,
YouTube, you open
know?
TikTok. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I mean in high school I had TikTok deleted I was one of those people that had TikTok deleted, but like still scrolled on Instagram Reels. But it's just like Instagram Reels is just like not at the same level. So like I would be on it for like 5 minutes max, and I'd be like, all right, I'm bored, and then I close it. You
That's
know.
good.
But whereas like now I have TikTok, and every now and then like I'll see myself like scrolling on it for more than 5 minutes, and I'm like, what am I doing? You know, and then I'll turn it off.
I
you
hate
know?
TikTok.
Yeah,
it's my least favorite app.
Exactly. Honestly, the only reason why I got TikTok again is because you can search up a specific topic on TikTok and it shows you a bunch of videos related to that topic. You can't do that on Instagram.
You do it on the computer though, you know.
Yeah, really exactly. You can do it there, but it's just like if I ask like the other day I was doing I don't even know. I think I was doing RDLs, and I had just gotten back into it and my form was wrong because I remember because I felt like something in my back, you know. And it felt tight. Like I had to leave the gym because of how bad it was hurting.
Really?
Yeah. So then I searched up on TikTok like back stretches, and literally like more than like 10 videos of doctors, people with like PhDs and stuff like
cool
that.
About it.
Oh, like they're like, these are the best stretches. These are the best.
We live in such a weird time where you can access so much information about anything.
Exactly. That's the main
way.
reason why I got TikTok again. Is because like, you know, like I can ask it like, oh, like best websites to learn Python. You know, a bunch of TikTokers have posted best websites to learn Python. Best websites for that.
There's so much, bro. There's so much. It's
exactly.
All that data, man.
You know, so like that's the main reason why I like TikTok. But other than that, it's just a means of procrastination to me.
Definitely.
You know, like yes, it can be entertaining at times, but like, why is it entertaining? Like most of the time, it's just people like making stupid jokes or people like dancing. You know, it's like. Am I really entertained by this?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
It's such a waste of time, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like indulging in that a bit too much, like, causes your body to release serotonin so much that other things don't increase serotonin as high as it should. You know, like we get less pleasure from doing like regular activities or from like achievements because we've seen other people achieve more on TikTok, that we don't get the same serotonin level as we should be getting, you know, and it kind of like messes up with your whole like your body itself and your brain, because like, you know, for a lot of people, like, oh, if you run a mile, you should be like proud of yourself, you know, like you run a mile without stopping, like sub 8 minute mile, like that's a good achievement, you know. But then they see like a video of David Goggins or something like that, and he's like, all right, ran, or like some like marathon runner that was running a marathon. He's like, day in the life of a marathon runner. So today I went on my 8-mile run, and it's like, and then it shows them running, and it shows their pace, and it's like 5:15, 5:10, like for consistently. And then you're there like, all right, well now my 1 mile doesn't look that impressive.
Yeah.
Even though you should be proud of yourself, you know, but because you see other people just doing so much better, and at the end of the day we naturally compare ourselves to others, you just don't get as happy as serotonin.
I just feel like the short form content, it just gives me a headache, you know. Like I used to be on it a lot. I was pretty addicted, like during COVID, really.
Yeah.
And then when I kind of realized it was bad, like after the end of my sophomore year, it's when I was like, I'm spending way too much time on this. Like that summer I deleted it, and I haven't gone back since. And like I think really since that summer I've never like owned a scrolling app, you know, like Instagram and stuff. Like I won't be scrolling on it, and I feel like it's really changed my life. I feel like I'm a lot happier on a regular basis than like those shitty videos you be looking at all the time. Like as you said, you know, it's just like some motherfucker dancing or just like saying some random shit. Like it's such a waste of time, man. You know.
Exactly. And it's like Instagram. Like I have Instagram, but I don't use it like I would like the only thing I use for like procrastination is like Reels. But like I don't follow meme accounts. Like I used to follow like a bunch of them. But then, like, I really thought about it, and I'm like, I'm really, like, just scrolling here looking at memes. Like, that feels so stupid to me. Like, because every now and then I like to, like, stop and, like, think about what I'm doing from a third person's point of view, right? Like, imagine, like, you are, like, your grandparents in, like, heaven or wherever, you know, your religious belief is, and they're, like, looking down on you and watching you. And you're just there, you have your homework open, and you're there on your phone. And your phone's on your lap, and you're there playing games. Just like, imagine how that looks like from a third person's point of view.
Sad.
Like it looks sad. It's like, wow, like they know they have work to do. They have their computer open because they want to do their work, but they can't control themselves and they're playing video games on their lap.
Sad.
Like
sad way to live.
Yeah, if you stop what you're doing for a second and just like let me like movies do sometimes, or like video games do sometimes, where they like zoom out of the character and just kind of like, you know, like put a camera right there, right? And then look at yourself from that lens. Like, imagine what you're doing. You have a computer open, your work open, and you're over here playing video games on your phone, or you're scrolling through TikTok. It's like, how like, I hate saying it, but like, how lame does that look?
It's lame as fuck.
You know, it's like you need you need to be productive. You know what you need to do to be productive and to be successful and to, you know, whatever. But you're letting your phone get in the way, you know. And it's like I said about ChatGPT, it's a tool, but something that's also a tool that, you know, society as a general keeps dismissing is our phones. Like,
it's a great tool.
It's a great tool, but like everybody's like learned to use their phone as like it's normal to have a phone, and it's normal to be using your phone at all times. It's no longer become a tool. It's become like a life essential, essentially, right?
Like a limb in
it's
your
like,
body.
Yeah, exactly. It's a part of your body. It's like if you're waiting at a bus stop, you're not just gonna be waiting at the bus stop. You're gonna be scrolling on your phone, you know. And like I think about that sometimes, like I think it's so ridiculous. Like we're always on our phones. Like if we no longer wait for stuff, you know, we watch reels while time passes. You know, it's no longer waiting. Oh, the bus is coming. All right, I'm gonna scroll on my phone until the bus comes.
I also feel like being bored makes time go slower.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
know?
like when you are bored and when you're just stopped and not doing anything, which is the reason why I enjoy like my showers. Your brain starts firing rapidly, and you just start thinking about every like aspect of your life, and you kind of just like, you know, analyze your life. You know, you need to have those moments of like self-reflection and sort of like
your shower.
All right, yeah, exactly. Like you need to have those moments. But if we're always have our headphones on and play music, and if we're always like scrolling on our phones while we're waiting for something, then when are you gonna reflect on your life and see if you're really being optimal and efficient in what you're doing? You know, like that's why I like using my showers. I'm like, okay, I normally shower at the end of the day, so I'm like, okay, like how was my day? How did it go? What did I get done? What did I not get done? You know, was there anything I wanted to get done and didn't get done? If that's true, then like what happened? Why didn't I get this done? Did I think I could do more than I could? Or did I procrastinate? Or was I inefficient in some way? You know, you gotta be able to pinpoint those inefficiencies in your day or in your week so that you can become the best version of yourself, essentially, you know? And it's just like, it's a mindset at that point.
This is curry chicken, by the way. My favorite Joey Badass song. Yeah.
What's it called?
Curry chicken.
Curry chicken.
So good.
Curry chicken. I don't know. I've been really obsessed with Joey Badass recently.
I love it.
I don't know why. Like, my favorite one right now is like "Tell Me" by Joey Badass.
I haven't heard that. We'll play it after.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know, just that like little like. I don't even know. It's like a smooth R&B type of thing.
Yeah, it's like calming.
It's so nice.
You can turn it up a little bit. You make it down like,
Yeah, you know, one of my friends ran into Joey Badass once at on a flight. Like he was on the same flight. They were like walking to their seats. They saw him. They're like, "Yo."
I don't even know. Is that what he looks like?
Yeah. They were like, "Yo, are you Joey Badass?" And then Joey Badass was like, "Shh, yeah. Oh my God, can we get a picture?" He's like, "Yeah, be quiet." You know, because he didn't want to get like spotted. So then like they took a quick picture with him and like left. You know, but it's just like he's ridiculous.
He's
bro.
great. His flows are insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. Hey, what were we talking about? Fuck.
No, you're good. I was just saying you kind of just have to have like the sort of mentality of just like,
you know,
being able to look at yourself from a third person perspective and like being like, okay, let me reflect on what I'm doing right now and like, is this really what I should be doing to be like the best version of myself or to succeed or to reach the goal I want to reach, you know? Because like every day is an opportunity for you to get closer to your goal. It's what you do with that day that determines whether or not, you know, you get to your goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love that, man.
You know, so
I feel like in those moments where, like, before I would just kind of pick up my phone, scroll, and like see what there's to do. Oh, check the text message. Oh, check the email. Oh, check Instagram. Like, I think I'm trying to build this like resistance to picking up my phone, where I've kind of tried to compete with myself in a way where every time I pick up my phone, I keep track of like my phone pickups in a day, and I'll kind of compete with myself. Like, okay, if I had 20 yesterday, I'm gonna get like 18 today or whatever, and it goes up and down, you know. But I think because now I have that resistance, it's almost like before I pick up my phone, I have to tell myself, like, why am I picking up my phone? Is it worth it? And sometimes I can't come up with a reason. I'm like, wait, I just want to pick it up. We'll find something to do.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, wait, no, I have
exactly.
nothing to do. If I can justify I have something to do, like if I am on the bus and I have a very specific thing I actually want to do, like send this text to someone, then I'll do it and I'll add the pickup. But I feel like just adding that resistance has significantly reduced my pickups. Like I pick up 20 times a day. That's it.
Wow.
And I feel like there you go back to like talking about all these people who complain about like not having enough time. Like that's how you get more time.
Yeah,
like 8 hours screen time in 2 hours, and that's 6 hours in a day.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mean I monitor my screen time a lot, and like this past week my screen time was like 6 hours and 13 minutes, but like I want to like keep like reducing it. Like my goal is to get to like 3 hours, because like 3 hours screen time would be ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, but at the same time, like you have the weekends, and like at the end of the day, the weekends are still a time for you to relax a bit. So I do like to use the weekends to relax. Like I get work done for the next week, but like I don't kill myself over getting the work done for the next week. Like at the end of the day, I still need to like relax at times. Like you can't keep on the throttle 100% all the time, because like your body and your brain just can't take it. You need to have certain times where like you relax a bit, right?
What's the screen time today?
6 hours and 12 minutes.
Yours? Let me check mine. Let me see.
I can't check mine right now. My phone's up there.
Let me make sure.
I'm averaging like 2 hour 15, I think.
Almost the exact same
Yeah,
as yours.
my daily average is 6 hours 7
But
minutes.
the days we
right
film, I get like 4 hours because my phone's just up there the whole time.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Right now I'm at 6 hours 7 minutes for this week.
Okay.
But you know, I'm always trying to like get it down, and then like the week I get 3 hours, I'm gonna be so proud of myself, because it's like it's such a hard task to do, especially like since we've been raised in like the community and society where, you know, where everybody has a phone and you're always on your phone, you know, so it's kind of hard to like bring that screen time down. But like we kind of have to get that screen time down, because if you're like, oh, I didn't have time to do this, look at your screen time. You had 6 hours to do it.
Exactly.
You know? Like you had 6 hours to do it. Don't say you
And
didn't
they're like,
have
oh
time.
no, that's not actually 6 hours. Like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here. It adds up.
Yeah, it adds
like
up.
crazy.
It adds up, exactly. And it's just like, you know, you have to get that number down, and that's a goal I always strive for. And it's like I try to do something similar. Like I try to keep track of it. Like, am I really like on my phone for a reason? You know, like if I'm not on my phone for a reason, I try to set it down. But at the end of the day, it's difficult. Like we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. It's like sometimes like I'll pick up my phone and I'll start procrastinating. Like it's natural. Like I don't like to do it. I'm not proud of it, and I try not to do it. But it happens. I mean, it's natural. But like, you know, I'm conscious of it, and I try to make an effort to like reduce that number. You know,
Definitely.
I'm not perfect, and it's not gonna be reduced automatically, and it's not gonna be perfect. But you know, it's reduced. It's not the amount that it could be. You know, I could be procrastinating all the time, but then my whole life would be a chaos. I'm not gonna lie, but like I could procrastinate all the time, but because I'm conscious of like procrastination and like why our brains procrastinate, I feel like I procrastinate less. I still procrastinate a little bit, of course, you know, but I procrastinate a lot less than I could be, and I'm proud of that.
That's good.
You know, and I mean that's something like we all have to do. Like no matter what we do, we got to celebrate the small victories, and we got to be proud of those small victories, because the older you get, the less victories you're going to get, the harder life is going to get. So you have to really be able to cherish those moments where you believe you're succeeding, and you know, just sort of like take that in, because yeah, like I said, when you get older, you know, you might be working like a 9 to 5, like there's not going to be much joy in your 9 to 5, you know, so you got to be able to celebrate the small victories, like outside of work, or like, you know, oh, like I went to the gym today and my lift went up 5 pounds. That's still, you know, you should be proud of yourself for that, you know, or like, oh, today was a really productive day, you know, you should be proud of that, you know, oh, today I got my assignment turned in a day before. You should be proud of that. You should be able to like, you know, cherish that and be like, all right, good job, but don't let that settle you into your comfort, you know, be like, good job, all right, now what else? Yeah, what's next? What's my next achievement? You know, you gotta take life like low-key a game. You know, like every game, you got a mission, and then at the end of the mission, you get like
Reward.
Oh yeah, reward. You know, so it's like your reward might not be the same as that in the game. Like, oh, you don't get a little cash, you know, or something like that. Like in GTA, like if you complete a mission, you get money and like respect points. You're not gonna get respect points in real life, but like you can create a currency in your mind of like success points if you really want to. I don't personally do that, but it's just like, you know, like when you achieve something, you gotta be like, all right, wow, I feel good about myself, but now what's the next achievement? You always gotta be thinking, what's the next achievement?
Mm-hmm.
What else can I do? You know,
There's always more to do. Like, and even the other domains of life, you can sometimes pivot and like start something completely different.
Exactly. There's like so much like I dedicate a lot of time to like my club, like my Google developer clubs, where we're creating an app and stuff like that. But like, if I wanted to, I could try dropping it and like try to start a podcast or something like that,
Why
because that's
not?
like a completely different like segue, you know. And it's just ridiculous because like there's so much stuff you can do if you just like really set your mind into it. You know, you have the resources for anything. You just have to try to find the path you want to pursue. You know, there's no perfect path. There's no right or wrong. You know, there's just a path, but you have to start on that path and go through it with 100% effort. You know, just like you are like with this podcast itself. Like this is the path you've chosen, and you're going through it 100%. You've been posting consistently for weeks. You know, not even weeks, for over a year now, right?
Yeah, almost a year and a half.
Yeah, a podcast a week for over a year. So it's like, you know, and my path has been, you know, like researching and like being able to like teach myself a lot of what I know I will eventually need in the future to be successful, you know.
That's good, man.
So you just need to find your path and just stick to it 100%. And then even if you're not sure it's your path,
Just go with it for now.
just go with it for now. Exactly.
If
If you find something you're more passionate about later, then pivot, you know. But you got to be able to be flexible like that. But you need to do whatever you do at 100%. You know, if you half-ass it, then it's not even worth doing it at the end of the day. You know, it's like, why am I going to try to create this project just to half-ass it? You know, like a personal project. Why am I going to like join Google developers and create apps if I'm just going to go there and like ChatGPT the whole time and just call it a day? Like what am I learning by doing that? I'm half-assing it. Yeah, I'm getting my work done, I guess, but it's like I'm not learning, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm there to do. I'm there to learn.
That's good, man.
So,
yeah.
you know, it's essentially like the big part of it. It's really just all like your mentality, you know? Once you start like really researching the stuff and like I've watched so many like videos on people talking about this and stuff like that. It's really just, you know, the way you think and like your mentality affects your life like completely. Like if you have a certain mentality, your life would be completely different than the way it is right now, you know? And it's like, I try to have like such a rigid mentality of just like, all right, keep working, keep doing what's next, keep thinking about the future, keep thinking about the success you want to have in the future, right? Because I know if I don't, then I'll start to slack off. If I don't have an end goal in sight, then it's like, what am I working towards? You know? And it's like, even like sometimes when I lose track of my end goal, I just focus on the next task at hand. I'm like, okay, I did this, now what's next? And I just keep doing it until I'm done. But then you're not supposed to be done. That's the beauty of it. You're never done.
Yeah.
You always got something else that you should be doing. There's always something else to work on, you know? So, I just think really it's like, life is just beautiful, man.
It is beautiful. I'm curious, like you said at one point you had a dream of becoming like a professional soccer player.
Uh-huh.
And you shifted later on because you realized you were also at strong academics and you want to pivot in that direction. So what age did you make that pivot, and like how serious were you about like considering D1?
So I made that pivot really like sophomore year / junior year of high school. Sophomore year, I was in a really competitive club soccer team, and like we were doing pretty well. But I was like kind of struggling with balancing it with my school and everything like that. And like we were a pretty good team, and I could have tried out and gotten into like better teams too if I really wanted to, and really like force myself to. But then like I was doing really well in my classes, and I thought about it like, okay, end goal. My end goal is to be successful and be able to provide for my family, right? Which one would allow me to do that, right? Soccer or my academics, right? Which one has a more sure way of, you know, getting me to my goal, right? And then I thought about D1 soccer, right? A lot of, and then I heard stories about like from like one of my friend's dad that his friend went D1 for soccer and he was on a scholarship and he got injured.
Oh, man.
But since he was on scholarship and he was like an essential player, the coach still played him. And he's like, you better play. You're here for a scholarship. This is Tommy.
It's Tommy? Oh, okay.
Yeah. He said like, you're on a scholarship and we need you to play, so you're gonna keep playing. He played through his injury and suffered like something in his like leg. That's now he can barely walk on his right leg because he overexerted his injury and wasn't allowed to rest. He now can't use his right leg, and then because that happened,
all?
yeah, he can barely use his right leg at all. And because that happened, of course, he didn't finish the season off. So they removed his scholarship, too, because he wasn't playing for the team anymore, you know? And then his life, like, low-key started spiraling, you know? So it's like, okay, do I want to commit myself to D1? And, like, if I get injured or something
risky,
like that.
Man.
Yeah, it's risky. It's so risky because it's your body, and your body is essentially fragile. You know, you're reliant on your body that you can very easily get injured. I mean, you know, like, unless you're, like, a very top player, like Kyrie Irving, like, he tore, like, his ACL recently, right? It's like...
Did he?
Yeah,
This season
like,
or?
Huh?
This season?
This season, yeah. Like, I think
Where is he?
Kyrie-
He's not on the Nets anymore, right? Where is he?
No, he's in Mavericks.
Mavericks. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
watching
yeah.
since, like, middle school.
Let me see if I'm right. But yeah, it's like...
Also, are we playing March Madness today? Is Michigan up today, or?
I have no idea. I don't really watch college basketball like that. But I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somebody told me. Yeah,
Okay.
he tore his ACL in his left knee March 11th. So that's like
Just
a week.
recently. That's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
10 years ago.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, but like he's like professional player, all-star, stuff like that. So he's still going to be making his money. But if you're a college athlete and that happens, you're out for the season, you know. And then at that point, you're just an expense for the club, for the school. And it's like, if you're on scholarship too, they're just going to cut that, you know, unless you're like really, really cracked, you know. And it's
Just
like
making it to the top level, there's like so many levels to it, man.
Yeah, there's so
When
many
you get to the
levels
highest
to it,
level,
too,
those
and
guys are
it's just
so
like-
good.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'd rather focus on like my academics is sort of like my
Sure.
intellect and something that I feel like is also strong, than, you know, pursuing D1 and like possibly injuring myself, and then that's it, you know. And then all my hard work is for what, you know? Like, yes, I had some successes along the way, but I got injured and now game over. You feel me? So then it's
Just get snatched away from you just like that.
Exactly. And then between junior and senior year, I had the opportunity to do research at Michigan State University, and they essentially had me create like a Python machine learning program and everything like that. But at the time, I didn't know Python at all. Like, I had no experience, especially not with machine learning. But I had the whole summer to do it. It was 6 weeks. So I was like, man, like, I got all the time in the world. I'm going to do research on this. I'm going to learn as much as I can. And I'm going to just get my hands dirty, really, you know. And, I mean, at the end of the day, I was able to complete it. I did get, like, some help, of course. But, you know, I was able to get it done. And, like, to me, that kind of, like, inspired my sort of, like, motive to, like, pursue computer science, like rigorously. Because, like, I don't know, I found, like, a self-fulfillment in the fact of, like, oh, I tried something, I failed. I tried something else, I failed. Like, you know, but every failure got me an inch closer to success. You know, and then finally when I finished it and I was able to run it and it did what it was supposed to do, you know, like the feeling of like satisfaction, the euphoria of, wow, I did it, I accomplished it, you know, to me was like extraordinary, and kind of like made me fall in love with like just the computer science world. And like that's what happens a lot of times nowadays, like, you know, with the Google developers apps and like other apps that I want to make and that I've been trying to make, like I try, and then boom, like my screen flashes red, and the app's like, oh, you failed, you haven't done this, you know. But it's like stressful at the time, but then like once I like research and like find my way around it and figure out what exactly is going wrong and fix it, it's like so nice, like, oh wow, look, it's right there, there's my app, you know.
Yeah,
and it's
man.
like,
It's so satisfying, man.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like what I really enjoy about programming. It's the art of like trial by error, essentially. The more you mess up, the more you learn, and the closer you get to succeeding. So it's just like, you know, so I kind of fell in love with that aspect of programming, and that's why I ended up like pursuing computer
Yeah,
science.
that's amazing, man.
Right. And then, you know, my ultimate goal with that is to like sort of implement AI into and improve computer vision and like image recognition. So like for medical scans, you know, like if I come to you with like a symptoms of like, I don't even know, like a brain tumor in my frontal lobe, let's say, you know, whenever the professionals are going to be seeing the scan, I mean, yes, they're doctors, they're professionals, don't get me wrong, but like we're also human, so we're going to have a little bit of bias based on the symptoms of the patient. They're going to be looking for that, right? But then they might miss like some small malignant tumor in like the back of their brain or whatever that the MRI scan.
error,
Yeah, exactly. Just because they had a little bit of bias, and because the patient wasn't showing symptoms of it, they weren't looking for that, you know, so then they might miss it and overlook it. But with AI, it kind of like takes like a holistic view of the scan and analyzes every inch of it for any possible infection or tumor or cancer or whatever, you know. So that's like my ultimate goal now with computer science. It's kind of
That's
like
fun.
to try to like figure out how to implement artificial intelligence in the medical field to improve like efficiency of diagnosis and prolong prognosis and catch stuff early, you know, because if you catch like some cancers early, you can like prevent people from dying essentially, you know. So it's like,
Dude, that's great.
so that's like my ultimate goal. But I mean, how do I get to that goal? You know, first I need to build up my programming skills in general, and then I need to start, you know, diving into the artificial intelligence field and understand how it works, how to build one, how to create one, then work on how to, you know, apply that to image processing, which I mean, I don't know if you know, but like images are essentially just matrices of like numbers and pixels. So it's like, how do I apply that to like a huge data set of like matrices and vertices and stuff like that? And then how do I use that AI to identify what's what?
So much in it, man.
Exactly. So it's like, right now I'm just building up my programming skills. I've started a little bit in understanding AI because I'm in the Michigan AI Student Lab organization, and they have meetings every Thursday where we're building a multi-layer perceptron. And essentially a perceptron is just a really, really low-level artificial intelligence. You know, you give it an input, it weighs certain parts of the input higher than others, and then returns like an output of, you know, what essentially you want. So it kind of like really, really low-level artificial intelligence type of thing. But it's like my introduction to sort of getting into artificial intelligence and how it really works. And you know, that's like one of the big first steps that I'm taking towards getting to my ultimate goal of like, you know, improving the healthcare system prognosis.
Dude,
but
that's exciting, man. I'm so excited to see how that comes down, man.
No, yeah, I mean, at the same time, that's my goal for now, and that's my target for now. But I mean, if something happens and I have to pivot, I'll pivot. Yeah. You know, but it's just like, adjusting. You know, exactly. You know, I'm learning and I'm taking steps to get to that place, and it's just like, you know, that's what we all should be doing. You know, we all should have some sort of end goal that we kind of want to do, and we all do. I mean, we're in University of Michigan. We all wrote college essays. They all asked why us, or what's your biggest goal. They all asked us these types of questions, and that was a moment in our lives in which we had to do the most reflection and really find out like, why do I want to go to college? What do I want to do? So we've all written or thought about like, what is our end goal? You know, so if that end goal is really, you know, true, and you were honest in your essays and stuff like that, then like, what steps are you taking to fulfill that goal, you know, to accomplish it, you know? So
it's a great way to put it. Like, that was really like the biggest stage of everyone's life in terms of self-reflection, and I guess it only grows with time, and you have the experiences here and you keep going, and you know, it's been a hell of a ride, man. But thank you for coming down, man. I really had fun talking to you today. Of course. Teo, should we do wallet challenge today?
A what?
Well, you want to do wallet challenge? Wallet challenge.
What's that?
Okay, let's do it. All right.
What's a wallet?
Where's my wallet? Is my wallet over there, Teo? It's a mess in this room. I think it's behind the thing. All the way down there. Look,
in my head.
We toss it? Alright, ladies and gentlemen. This wallet has never been opened before, except for a couple times on the podcast, but it's never been opened before. And it is an anti-theft wallet in which, you know, you can get the cash out easily, but the cards are almost impossible to get out. So we're going to see if Murilo is the intelligence to be able to unlock this wallet. So I'm going to give you a countdown. I'm going to give you 5.
Wait,
don't touch it.
Wait, hold on.
3.
Let me pull up a timer.
Okay, fine.
Wait, what? I'm stressing.
Yeah, you better be
stressing. Because I just talked.
What's the record?
Ready? 5. Oh, the record? We'll tell them after.
No, wait. I just talked all that.
5,
I gotta prove my
4,
intelligence.
3, 2, 1, go. All right, 1 second in. What we got? I love throwing them off.
Yo, no. Let's see. It has to be like. What is this? It's like broken. Am I tripping? Yo. What?
You're 30 seconds in, man.
No.
The record
way.
was like 6 seconds, I think.
What? Nah, they already knew the wallet by that time.
No, they didn't.
It has to be this. Like this, does this come out? I don't want to break it.
Yeah, don't break it.
I swear it's this thing. But I don't know. I don't want to break it. And I don't got the nails for that, I'm not going to lie. I think you just like pull this out and it's like call it a day and it goes up. It's how the mechanism.
Maybe not. You never know.
There's no way knowing.
If you break it more, then the challenge would get more difficult with time.
Exactly, that's fair. Yo, what? Am I tripping?
You have a max of 5 minutes, and then the challenge is over.
Oh. Is it that I was just pushing it from back here? Oh, it's like...
All right, leave the cards back in before they see the numbers. Okay.
Wait.
Good job. 1 minute and 17 seconds.
You just push it from... What?
Well, that's a cheating way to do it. There's a better way of doing it.
Okay. Is it... It's this, no?
I can't tell you, because you're going to do it again the second time on the podcast. All right,
It's 100% that. It's a little like clip thing on the side.
I got to prevent them from doing that, because that's such cheating, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta prevent that.
Is that why you got 6 seconds? Is that how they got 6 seconds? Did they push it from the bottom?
I don't think they did. They found it. They were like, oh, it worked. Let's get inside the poster. Let me get a marker. Hold up.
Wait, so I don't get to find out? You should play Tell Me again. Wait, what's happening?
That'll be the outro.
Take this to that song right now, I'm sorry.
You said what?
No, the Tell Me by Joey Badass. I'm addicted to it. What am I doing with this?
All right, you're gonna sign your name on the poster. You're gonna be number 93. Pick a spot.
Crazy.
Tell me you a real one. Wait, what happened there? I thought you were playing J-Rock. I heard
Oh, no.
you just went to jazz.
Switch the flow.
Tell me you a real one. Bitch, where?
Since we already played that one before.
That's true.
Oh, for mine, somewhere in the middle of my life.
Right with your boy Jackson.
Jackson?
Jackson. I mean, they're all friends. Jackson, Murilo, and Xander are all friends. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Number 93?
93, right? Yeah.
Oh, yo, I look 8. I didn't fuck that shit up. Oh,
Let's go.
I heard you say damn when I was writing that shit. I didn't think I was gonna write it that well either, honestly.
My handwriting sucks.
You're competing with Nico. Look over here on the right.
Yeah, exactly. I was right. That's the best. I was like, damn. Yeah, I was like, look at him just do my.
You see Jackson's up there?
No, I did not. I was looking.
Dude, you're right next to it.
Xander?
Left.
Oh, I could not read that. I could not read that for the life of me. I didn't know that was them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Xander's right there. That's dope. This is all everybody from UMich?
Yeah, so everyone from 72 onward.
Okay.
Because
yeah, cool.
the first Michigan episode was 51, but Jackson gave me the idea to do this like later on. So from 72 onward, we started doing this, and you know whatever we got the idea, we just.
And your dad's is up there too.
My dad's on there too.
Where?
Number 77.
You interviewed your dad?
Yeah,
Top
3
right.
times. He's had 3 appearances.
That's so dope. What's it called? Nah, but like, what's it called? You should have done like your logo here.
Yeah.
The middle and then everything.
Hey, don't worry, we're gonna be filling this up. As soon as we fill this up, the next one I'll do that.
Yeah. Or like put like the name of the podcast on the back.
Yeah,
And this is,
somewhere.
like, the front or
Yeah,
something
we'll have
like
like
that.
millions of these as
Oh
life
yeah,
goes
of
on,
course.
so-
Millions.
Yeah,
Millions.
That's a cool idea. This is a cool way to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to do like lame, just like writing my name and stuff like.
Yeah, you gotta be special, you know.
Yeah, like, I gotta make it look cool.
All those lame
somehow.
motherfuckers.
Yeah. Exactly.
The bubble letter is probably my favorite one.
Which one?
The bubble letters, number
Yeah,
90.
this one's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't read it though.
Ryan knew.
That's an R?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't read that, but that's dope. Yeah, I could not read new on that.
Then we had the math major doing his prime factorization at the corner.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, it's funny.
Did a little tree too, like the
I
tree
know.
prime factorization.
I know.
That's funny. Wait, so what's 93? It's just 3 and 31. It's a prime number.
All right, Murilo, have a good one, man.